So what are your thoughts on Drake Maye? I know you know the OC Alex Van Pelt from your time in Buffalo.
Drake, I've actually talked to Alex about him a little bit. He said that what Alex has said is that there is tons of ability there, but he is just sort of unmolded clay. And so that's why I think he's got a great advantage, because Alex Van Pelt was my backup quarterback in Buffalo. He was actually the same year that I was. Back in 1993, we spent my 21st birthday at Hooters in Indianapolis at the scouting combine. So I know Alex go all the way back to 1993. Alex is one of those guys that you play with that you just know he's going to be a coach when he's done. I think he played 11 years and, 6'1", kind of chubby, didn't throw it real hard. So you knew that he was making it happen with his brain, not with his ability. And I think that Drake is in a very beneficial situation because of Alex, because he understands not only the X's and O's, but he understands the emotional component of playing quarterback and all the things that a quarterback goes through. So he's going to have a great advantage there. And then I'm excited about Jerod Mayo. I got to spend a week with him. Mr. Kraft took a bunch of us to Israel back before COVID. And I got to spend a week with Jerod. And man, you talk about a great dude that's also wicked smart, man. He's an NFL linebacker. And I don't know if he tells a lot of people this. I haven't seen it in the media, but in high school, his hobby, he was a white hat hacker, meaning he would break into companies' systems, like you see in the movies. And then he would, send them an email like, "Hey, I broke into your system. Here's the rabbit hole that I found to break into your company." So he's like, I was talking about Nikki Glaser earlier as a Bond villain, but Gerod's kind of that way too. He's like a, giant dude, great athlete, and he's also a computer nerd. So I think they've got a shot there. They've got those two pieces in place. They still have a talent deficit. But I'm bullish on their future if they can have a little bit of patience.
So, Drew, how much pressure is on both Jerod replacing Bill and Drake Maye not necessarily replacing Tom, because there's been a couple guys after Tom, but just being the quarterback of the New England Patriots? How much pressure is on those two?
It becomes somewhat unrealistic pressure, Key, because you look at what Bill and Tom did together. That will never be replicated. I mean, you never say never, but I mean, come on, man.
No, it'll never ever be replicated. Never. We'll be dead.
Yeah, exactly. The league is not set up for the league is set up for parity. The Chiefs are making a good run at trying to be a dynasty, but they got a long way to go before they catch the Patriots, right? I think it is beneficial that they've had a couple of tough seasons, so they're not coming and replacing those two guys after they won another Super Bowl. So I think there's some grace there, and they've been bad enough the last couple of years, especially on the offensive side, that I think there'll be at least some organizational patience. That fan base is not known for being very patient, so they're going to want immediate success. But I just saw a deal the other day. Just popped up on Instagram or something, that the Patriots are currently not favored in any game this coming season. And so the expectations have been set a little bit lower, which that helps them from that standpoint. But so they probably got 2 years of grace before people start to calling for heads. If they come out and win 6-7 games this year, that would be an appropriate season. But I wouldn't count them out. I really do think they're well coached, and I think that they'll be given the resources to try and go get it done. It'll be interesting to watch, though, certainly.
Drew, I think you were the first $100 million quarterback. Am I correct?
Well, technically, yes, Key. But you remember how those contracts were back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Those were not guaranteed contracts.
Absolutely.
It was like, don't get me wrong, it was great, but it was really like a $30 million deal that, and the money that got it to 100 was kind of way out there. So like I said before, nobody's holding any fundraisers for me. But I was the first one that had $100 million next to my name. There was the only money that was guaranteed when we played, Keyshawn, was our signing bonus.
Yeah.
Now a lot of these contracts are like 60 and 70, and then I think Deshaun Watson is 100% guaranteed.
Yeah, his was 100% guaranteed. When
they were not throwing those guaranteed contracts around when we were playing.
Yeah, when you look at a guy like Kirk Cousins that gets 180 million with 100 of it guaranteed, and then they mess around and they draft a dude in the first round, and Michael Penix, are you puzzled or are you pissed or you don't care? If it was you, Drew.
Here's the thing to me, Key, is that my era and your era when we played, we were actually the most significant jump in terms of how players were paid. Because if we, did the right things and didn't screw up too much, we could, if we wanted to, could just stop when we're done playing. If you play for 10 years plus, and put the money and treat your money right, you can quit and go on and do whatever you want to. The era right before us, those guys had to get jobs, immediately when they were done playing because they just didn't make enough to do that. And so when you look how it's grown, obviously, yeah, man, that'd be cool to have some of the guaranteed money and so on. But the most significant jump was actually from the era before us to us, was really when the biggest jump happened. It's continued to be a crazy business, but I'm super curious to see how it works out down there in Atlanta, though. Dude, Penix, I got to watch him a lot because we're up here in the Northwest. I hate the Huskies, but that kid is pretty special, Key. I think he's going to be a great player. Made no sense to me what Atlanta did. Like, you either do one or the other. You don't sign Cousins to a $100+ million contract and then draft a quarterback, but maybe, but I am bullish on Michael Penix's future. Plus, I've watched all of his interviews. Seems like a great kid, got his head screwed on straight. I'm bullish on his future, but it's just gonna be interesting to watch how that plays out.
We absolutely hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more from us, hit that subscribe button for all videos, full episodes, and exclusive content from the show. And don't forget to find All Facts, No Breaks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.